You know what most people picture when they think about a power outage? A couple candles, a flashlight, maybe sitting around for a few hours waiting for the utility company to fix it. But that's not the kind of outage I've been thinking about lately. I'm talking about the kind where the phones start dying, gas stations stop working, people realize the stores aren't getting restocked, and everybody suddenly understands how dependent we are on electricity for literally everything. And the scary part, it doesn't even take a complete grid collapse, a bad storm, a cyber attack, a transformer failure, rolling blackouts, infrastructure problems. Any one of those can turn into something bigger than most people are prepared for. And once you get past about 24 hours, people start acting different. Tonight, I want to talk about something practical, not fear, not panic, not Hollywood nonsense, just real world preparedness. Because if the lights go out and nobody comes quickly, what happens next matters. Most people actually do okay the first few hours. Your phone still works. You still got battery banks. The fridge is still cold. Everybody thinks, this will probably be fixed soon. That's the dangerous stage because people wait. They don't fill containers with water. They don't top off vehicles. They don't organize equipment. They don't think ahead. And they sit around hoping normal comes back before they have to act. That's a mistake. The minute the power goes out for more than an hour or two, my mindset changes immediately. Not panic, but assessment. How widespread is it? Are communications still working? Can I still get fuel? Are nearby towns affected? Is this weather related? How long could this realistically last? That mindset shift matters because preparedness isn't about acting scared. It's about acting early. And honestly, most people don't realize how much of modern life completely stops without electricity. You don't think about it until the garage door won't open. Your freezer starts warming up. Your internet dies. Your coffee maker won't work. And your phone battery hits 12%. And suddenly, people feel helpless. Not because they're weak, but because we built our lives around systems that we assume will always work. The refrigerator issue, that starts fast. People think, well, food stays cold for a while. Well, sure, if you keep the doors closed. But families panic open refrigerators constantly during outages. Every few minutes, what do we have? Did the milk go bad? Is the freezer still cold? And every time you open it, you're losing temperature. That's where simple preparedness changes everything. Coolers, ice, backup power, thermometers, meal planning, even just knowing what do I eat first. Most people have no plan whatsoever, and if the outage spreads wide enough, good luck finding ice. I remember during major outages watching people lined up at gas stations that couldn't even pump fuel anymore because they had no electricity. That's the thing people miss. The system depends on the system. No power affects fuel, banking, communications, traffic lights, deliveries, inventory systems, ATMs. All of it connects together. People don't realize how fragile convenience really is until it disappears. Now let's talk generators, because this is where people usually say, I'll just buy a generator. Well, okay, but shouldn't you have already had the generator? Do you know how to use it if you do? Seriously, where does it go? How do you fuel it safely? What appliances matter the most? How much fuel do you actually need? Can you run it overnight? What extension cords are safe? How loud is it? What happens when the neighbors hear it? Most people buy the machine, but never build the plan. And that's the most important part. Let's say the outage happens tonight. Do you know what breaker that you would shut off? What extension cord goes where? What runs first? How long your fuel lasts? Where your flashlights are? What room your family should gather in? Who checks on elderly relatives? How do you charge phones after day 2? That's preparedness, not buying random gear. Thinking through problems before they happen. And don't make a mistake about it. I'm not trying to trash buying random gear. I have a ton of random gear. Buying gear feels good. I do it a lot. But I also test it, and I have a plan. Now, this is where people get uncomfortable. Behavior changes during extended outages. Not immediately, but eventually. Dark neighborhoods feel very different. People start driving around more. Tempers get shorter. Stores get cleaned out. Rumors spread online. And people who never prepared suddenly start looking for solutions. That's why I always say preparedness buys you calm. Because when you already planned, you don't have to panic. And honestly, I think a lot of us started preparing because we realized modern life feels more fragile now than it used to. Look what's going on in the world. It's not necessarily worse, it's just fragile. We depend on systems that we don't control, and that's why I'm such a believer in practical preparedness. Not bunkers, not fantasy scenarios. Just give yourself some options. Enough food, enough water, enough backup power, enough communication capability, enough stability to think clearly when other people can't. This is also where communications matter. When phones struggle, or networks overload, or internet goes down, having alternative communication suddenly becomes very valuable. The one reason I got deeper into ham radio, not because it's cool, because information matters. Knowing what's happening outside your immediate area can completely change your decisions. And here's the part that nobody's talking about. The longer an outage lasts, the more isolated people feel, especially older folks, people alone, people with medical issues, families with small children. That's why your inner circle matters. Preparedness isn't just supplies, it's people. People checking on each other, sharing information, helping solve problems. That's real preparedness. Because the truth is, most emergencies, they don't look like the movies. They look like uncertainty. There's no clear timeline. There's confusing information, lots of rumors, stress, small problems stacking into bigger ones. And the people that handle it best usually are not the richest. They're the people who thought ahead, the people who prepared calmly, practically, and quietly. You don't have to prepare for the end of the world, but you should prepare for life getting difficult for a while. Because one extended outage, one major storm, one infrastructure failure can change someone's life really fast. And even a little preparation gives you something most people lose immediately in a crisis: options. And that's what gives you a real shot at staying stable long enough to matter. Good night.